Alright, guys, so we need to talk about this. The Game Awards happened, I don't know how long ago, but I just found out that Arcane didn't win Best Adaptation, and I'm not mad at it. The reason I'm not mad is because let's look at what an adaptation is, right? So, an adaptation is actually something that, like, involves everything. You know what I mean? That it involves the same storyline, the same general premise as the games. And the reason that Fallout actually won Best Adaptation, which first off, I'm happy because Ella Purnelli, is that her name? Ella Purnell. I've recently fallen head over heels for Ella, not just because, obviously celebrity crush, but also just her performance as Jinx, as Fallout Girl. I don't know her name, by the way. I think it's Lucy. But let's look at what an adaptation is. An adaptation is something where the story is the same, the locations are the same, the characters are the same. So, there's that. And that is what Fallout has. From what I've seen, Fallout is set in the same thing that has the same story as the Fallout games. As opposed to Arcane, where Arcane makes up their own story, but that's a good thing. We gotta recognize that even though Arcane is the best show ever, in my opinion, it really is, like, I'm not even kidding, it is the first show to make me cry multiple times. The only show that's ever been able to make me actually cry are Walking Dead and Supernatural. But this show has made me cry multiple times. Bro, it just, dude, the show is just amazing. And I'm not gonna sit here and glaze, okay? As a not Supernatural, as an Arcane super fan, not just a fan, a super fan, I'm not mad that it didn't win. Because Arcane is barely an adaptation. Now, that's not a bad thing, because League of Legends, let's be honest, League of Legends is not that good. So, surprisingly, the show is good. But it's not an adaptation, really. It just has the same characters and the same places. There's no story, or the story is different. Because in League of Legends, they're telling a story of a bunch of legends who fight amongst gods and fight against gods and are trying to save the world. As opposed to Arcane, where it's very grounded, a very grounded story about family, betrayal, love, all of that. But yeah. So, I'm not going to say I'm the biggest Arcane fan, but I'm a pretty massive Arcane fan who would defend this show with my life. And even I'm not upset that it didn't win, because I understand why. It's not exactly an adaptation. It's just barely an adaptation. However, if it does not win Best Show of the Year, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upsetty spaghetti. But we'll wait until that.